The context of it makes it worse because it starts off with him defending the neo-Nazis and saying that the real people that started shit were the anti-Nazis. That is so crazy.
She was using Charlottesville, and everybody, you take a look at Laura Ingraham, she did it incredibly. She had it totally debunked. She said that, in fact, it makes it angry. She gets angry when people hear about Charlottesville, when they use that, because what they did is they stopped and they didn't put the following sentence in. And when they put the last sentence in, when it was all put together, what I said was absolutely perfect. And ABC knew that. Everybody knew that, frankly. I think they lost a lot of credibility.
It's crazy to me that he's still... Why are they saying Charlottesville was a lie? He's trying to claim that he was simply talking about the peaceful protesters on both sides. But the issue is the peaceful protesters and the not peaceful protesters on one side were literal fucking Nazis who were openly saying Jews will not replace us and shit like that on the fucking streets of Charlottesville. So obviously, when you look at the context of what he was talking about, it's still completely insane. You said that the fucking Nazi protesters were very fine people. You cannot look at a fucking Klan rally or a neo-Nazi rally and be like, well, there's some cool people there. You can't do that. And then expect people not to go, that's insane.
You're putting what you're calling the alt-left and white supremacists on the same moral plane.
I'm not putting anybody on a moral plane. What I'm saying is this. You had a group on one side and you had a group on the other, and they came at each other with clubs, and it was vicious, and it was horrible, and it was a horrible thing to watch. But there is another side. There was a group on this side, you can call them the left, or you've just called them the left, that came violently attacking the other group. So you can say what you want, but that's the way it is.
On both sides, sir? You said there was hatred, there was violence on both sides.
Well, I do think there's blame. Yes, I think there's blame on both sides. You look at both sides. I think there's blame on both sides, and I have no doubt about it, and you don't have any doubt about it either. And if you reported it accurately, you would say.
Neo-Nazis started this. They showed up in Charlottesville to protest.
Excuse me, they didn't put themselves down as neo, and you had some very bad people in that group.
Excuse me, they didn't put themselves down as neo-Nazis. It's even worse. It's even fucking worse. He's like defending the neo-Nazis, be like, no, they're not, excuse me, they're not neo-Nazis. But
you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name.
The context of it makes it worse because it starts off with him defending the neo-Nazis and saying that the real people that started shit were the anti-Nazis. Many of you probably forgot how this shit worked because back then, there was this genuine sentiment. Were you streaming at this point? Yes. There was this genuine fucking sentiment. Oh, I wasn't streaming back then, but I was covering this shit at the Young Turks. I, however, was still covering these stories. Back then, I was still a right-winger. I remember that was the first speech where I got the idea he was on our side. Okay, you were a little bit more than a right-winger then, Chatter. Jesus Christ. But yes, a lot of far-right neo-Nazi motherfuckers actually did go, that's our guy because of this. When you were watching Young Turks, not Charlottesville, yeah, when I was at the Young Turks, I used to make videos about stuff like this. How was the context of what Trump said worse? Explain the very specific facts, and we can't read the comments because they are going too fast. How does the context of the speech make the facts worse? Use specific facts. Charlottesville was a Unite the Right rally created by open neo-Nazis, okay? Like actual neo-Nazis. They were protesting the removal of a Confederate general's statue, okay? A Confederate general who fought to preserve slavery. Slavery is, chattel slavery especially, but slavery across the board is morally repugnant. Use facts, not your opinion. What? My opinion? Like, with the exception of what I just said about slavery being morally repugnant, everything else I said was facts. Unite the Right in Charlottesville was a rally put together by neo-Nazi groups. Okay? These groups were also openly demonstrating with tiki torches and polo t-shirts and khakis, where they were on camera saying Jews will not replace us, blood and soil, Nazi propaganda. Now, unless you yourself are directly a Nazi and embarrassed about this, you should probably look at this and go, yeah, that was really fucked up. This is not my opinion. This is just the facts.
It's some little black asshole behaving like a savage, and he gets himself in trouble, shockingly enough. Whatever problems I might have with my fellow white people, they generally are not inclined to such behavior, and you got to kind of take that into consideration.
He's one of the organizers and an out and about neo-Nazi.
When you're thinking about how to organize your society.
In Oklahoma City.
Okay, so exactly. You have to go back to Oklahoma City to talk about a white act of terrorism,
Elliot Roger,
right?
Dylan Roof.
Okay, so now you've managed to name 3 people, and I'm pretty sure Elliot Roger wasn't explicitly white, by the way. But the thing is, you remember the names of white bombers and mass shooters, okay? Yeah. Can you tell me the name of all 19 hijackers on 9/11 off the top of your head? You can remember Dylan Roof's name. You can remember Tim McVeigh's
white
name.
People were capable of violence.
I didn't say capable. Of course we're capable. I'm carrying a pistol. I go to the gym all the time. I'm trying to make myself more capable of violence. I'm here to spread ideas, talk, in the hopes that somebody more capable will come along and do that. Somebody like Donald Trump, who does not give his daughter to a Jew.
So Donald Trump, but like more racist.
A lot more racist than Donald Trump. I don't think that you could feel about race the way I do and watch that Kushner bastard walk around with that beautiful girl, okay?
Can you talk a little bit about the right adopting the politics or the political style of the left?
We don't have the camaraderie, we don't have the trust level that our rivals do. And that camaraderie and trust is built up through activism, and that is one of the tactics that we're adopting.
We're here! We're gay! We want the KKK! We're here! We're gay! We want the KKK!
So it was a problem, but Trump said there was good people on both sides. There were no good people on the side of the neo-Nazis unless you are a neo-Nazi and you want to defend the neo-Nazis. That's the facts. If you say, can you give me the facts and not your opinion, that is the facts. I am a firm and committed anti-fascist. I do not believe in fascism. I think it's morally repugnant. I think Nazis are fucking losers. They're bad people. They are not very fine. And anyone that looks at a neo-Nazi rally and says, well, there are very fine people on both sides, is also a fucking Nazi, okay, and can suck my dick. Now, luckily for us, every single person, every single normal person recognizes this and have moved on. You, on the other hand, are trying to still relitigate this issue because you are a dumb fuck.
Well, no, George Washington was a slave owner. Was George Washington a slave owner? So will George Washington now lose his status? Are we going to take down, excuse me, are we going to take down statues to George Washington? How about Thomas Jefferson? What do you think of Thomas Jefferson? You like him? Okay, good. Are we going to take down the statue? Because he was a major slave owner. Now we're going to take down his statue. So you know what? It's fine. You're changing history, you're changing culture, and you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them.
No, there wasn't. There you go. This is not a defense. This is not the defense that Donald Trump thinks he's launching. If you think this is the reason why Trump's "there are very fine people on both sides" argument was a mistake for, or fake news in the eyes of the broader population, you're wrong. If you go to a Nazi march and you march next to Nazis, you are a fucking Nazi. You are no longer a very fine person. Okay? That's it. Here, let's watch
I'm
Christopher Cantwell crying, by the way.
I do not want violence with you, all right? I'm terrified. I'm afraid you're going to kill me. I really am, all right? So, just let's do this however we need to do it. You know, if I got to go to jail today, you know, it won't be the first time, all right? I don't want to. I don't think I should. I think I honestly believe that I've been law-abiding, and I've been engaged in violence. I have. There's no question about it, and I've done nothing to hide that. But it was done in defense of myself and others, and I would not have done it for any other reason. If I was a violent guy, you would have heard about it by now. Everybody and their mother wants to ruin my life, okay? And if I wanted violence, it's not a difficult thing for a guy like me to find, okay? So, yeah.
That's Christopher Cantwell, also known as the Crying Nazi. Really fun stuff. I can't believe we're back at this point again. God damn, dude. Holy shit.